What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. And it's time for the weekend preview. I'm gonna pick my favorite 3 fights to watch and then mention some other bouts to keep your eyes on. So let's get ready to rumble! On the menu we have the ACA 173 in Minsk on Friday 29th, the LFA 180 in Louisville on Friday 29th, the Valdez vs Wilson boxing card in Glendale on Friday 29th, Cage Warriors 169 in London on Saturday 30th, the UFC Fight Night in Atlantic City on Saturday 30th, and the Tszyu vs Fundora boxing card in Vegas on Saturday 30th. Number 3, Romero vs Cruz, co-main event of the Tszyu vs Fundora boxing card. It will be Saturday 30th in Vegas, and it will be for the WBA World Super Lightweight title. Really hyped up by this matchup, guys. First we have Rolando "Rolly" Romero, 28 years old, 15-1, 30 wins by way of knockouts. Romero is the former WBA interim lightweight champion. He got this title after beating Jackson Martinez by unanimous decision in August of 2020. He defended it versus Anthony Yigit, beating him by TKO in the round 7, despite his opponent being 5.2 pounds heavier than the limit, and it was in July of 2021. Then he crossed paths with Gervonta "Tank" Davis in April of 2022 to unify the belt, but it didn't go so well. The punching power from Davis was too much to handle for Rolly, and he got TKO'd in the round 6. Rolly decided to move up to super lightweight and fought for the WBA vacant title in May of 2023 versus Ismael Barroso. It was not really a convincing performance. He won via TKO in the 9th round, but the ref stopped the fight way early as Barroso was far from being out and he was actually ahead on the scorecard. Romero will have to do better for his first title defense versus Cruz. Pitbull is 25 years old, 25-2-1, 17 wins by way of knockouts. A lot of experience at such a young age. Former lightweight like Rolly, Cruz fought some tough fighters as well. He won via unanimous decision over Matisse and KO'd Magdaleno in the first round. He also brought Gervonta Davis to the limit, losing via unanimous decision in a close fight. Then he beat Yuriokis Gamboa by TKO in the round 5 and Eduardo Ramirez with a cold knockout in the round 2. His last fight was in July. He won via split decision versus Giovanni Cabrera. It will be his first fight at super lightweight, so let's see how he will adjust to that. Rolly has an advantage on that side. He already fought once in that weight class, even though it was not so convincing, he had time to make adjustments. Rolly also has some fast hands, great left hook, good right uppercut, and he's able to recognize when he has to put pressure on a hurt opponent. With that being said, I'm still gonna go with Pitbull. The guy is relentless, he cannot be put out and he will keep putting pressure on his opponent, smothering him, going with powerful body shots and nasty overhand to the head. So I'm gonna be bold and I'm gonna say Pitbull via knockout. Number 2, Aaron Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. Main event of the UFC Fight Night in Atlantic City on Saturday 30th. And this fight will declare who is next in line for a title shot at the women's flyweight title. Let's start with Blanchfield. She's 24 years old, 12-1, 6 finishes. She's pro only since 2018 and she reached the UFC only 2 years after with a clean record of 6-1. Since then she seems pretty unstoppable, 6 fights, 6 wins, 3 stoppages. And that includes a unanimous decision win over Miranda Maverick, submissions over JJ Aldrich, Molly McCann, Jessica Andrade, and a beautiful win via unanimous decision over the former title challenger Tayla Santos last August. She thinks that she deserves that title shot, but she will have to prove it versus Manon Fiorot. Fiorot is 34 years old, 11-1, 6 wins by way of knockouts. She also started her pro career in 2018, but she has good amateur experience. She won the IMF World Championship in 2017. After losing her pro debut at Cage Warriors, she started an 11-fight winning streak, still ongoing, and after getting 3 wins, 3 KOs at UAE Warriors in less than 4 months, she attracted the eyes of the UFC. She made her debut in January of 2021, finishing Victoria Leonardo in round 2. She then had to go through the cream of the flyweight division. She TKO'd Tabata Ricci and then dominated Mayra Bueno Silva, Jennifer Maya, Kathleen Serminara, and more recently the former strawweight champion Rose Namajunas last September. I have the feeling that she should already got the title shot, but the UFC went in a different direction, favorizing a rematch versus Grasso and Shevchenko. Fiorot takes a huge risk in my opinion. She's fighting a 10-year younger opponent, excellent grappler, which is not the French strength. Interesting factor in that one, it will be a 5-rounder, and both never went past round 3 in their career. My heart supports Fiorot, French touch guys. I think she has the advantage in the striking department. She had a good takedown defense also, but still I would give an edge to Blanchfield on this one. Her grappling skills are next level, she will put pressure from the beginning of the fight, and she might tire Fiorot out in the first 3 rounds to get a submission win. And number 1, Team Tszyu vs Sebastian Fundora, main event of the boxing card with the same name, Saturday 30th. In Las Vegas, will be for the WBO and vacant WBC super welterweight title. I can't wait for that one. Tszyu was supposed to face Keith Sturman, but this one got injured. But I think we got even a better matchup versus Fundora. Let me explain. Sebastian Fundora is 26 years old, 21-1, 13 wins by way of knockout. He is almost 6'6", which is 197 centimeters. He has an 80-inch reach, 203 cm, and he's a southpaw. He has an unorthodox way of striking, good uppercuts, good straight from the left hand. He beat some tough opponents. He TKO'd Jorge Cota in the 4th round in May of 2021, and he dominated Sergio Garcia in December from the same year. After that, he stopped Erickson Lubin in April of 2022. That was for the WBC interim title, and he defended it by dominating Ocampo in October from the same year. His last fight was his first professional loss, in which he got knocked out by Brian Mendonça in the 7th round. He will now have a great opportunity to get his hands on a belt again. But for this, he will have to face a really underrated and skilled boxer, Team Tszyu. The Soul Taker is 29 years old, 24-0, 17 wins by way of knockouts. This guy has some heavy hands, he throws punches with great accuracy, he has a nasty left body hook and right overhand to the head. He fought and beat a lot of great boxers. He TKO'd Jeff Horn, Dennis Hogan, Steve Spark, he dominated Takeshi Inoue, Terrell Gosha. He became the WBO World Interim Champion in March of 2023 by stopping Tony Harrison in the 9th round. Then he knocked out cold Carlos Ocampo in the 1st round last June, and in his last fight he won via unanimous decision versus Brian Mendonça. He will now have the opportunity to add a 2nd belt to his record. I do think that Fundora will cause him some issues in the early rounds because of the long reach and the awkward style, but Tszyu is an amazing machine. He's smart and efficient. I think he will pressure Fundora, tire him out, take advantage of the low guard of his opponent and knock him out. Some other fights might be fun to watch. Oscar Valdez vs Liam Wilson. It's for the interim WBO super featherweight title, and it will be Friday 29th in Glendale. 2 elite fighters, but I'm still going with Valdez on that one. I think he fought tougher opposition in his career. Senesa Estrada vs Yokasta Valle for the undisputed world minimum title as a co-main event. This one almost entered my top 3, lots of skills between these two, 4 belts on the line. At the UFC Fight Night, I will keep an eye on Luque vs Buckley, 2 spectacular welterweights, and Jandiroba vs Godinez being a rising star from the strawweight division. LFA 180 at what it takes to be a hidden gem. Great flyweight main event versus Fernandez and Siqueira, good co-main between Agnew and Miranda, and of course Chelsea Connor, the tiny tank, will make a comeback at strawweight versus Alandria Rosales. Check the Fight IQ Unplugged, we did together. You'll see Chelsea is hungrier than ever and ready for this next challenge. 2 fights seem really interesting to me at Cage Warriors 169. Of course the main event versus Jordan Vucenic and Simone Dana at featherweight, and then Will Curry versus Leon Aliu at middleweight. Be sure to not miss them. And if you like boxing, there are some nice boxing prospects fighting this weekend. First, the Olympian Richard Torres Jr., the new heavyweight sensation that will fight on Friday, and Elijah Garcia, rising star at middleweight, will fight on Saturday. And we're done here. Now you know what to watch this weekend, guys. As usual, punch those like and subscribe buttons, it helps me a lot. And go hit the comments, go on Discord, on Telegram, on Instagram, and give me your picks for the coming matchups. Enjoy the fights, I'll see you next week. Man's gal wanna come undress me, swing with a right, but I might go lefty. I make plus